Hey everybody, it's Rich Tola, and welcome to Tola Talks on Wednesday, March 11th, 2015. It's also WTF Wednesday, so we're going to be talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're going to get to that in a moment, but a couple of quick shout outs. The first to my youngest nephew, McGuire. Kudos to Mac for getting into two of the best preparatory schools in the state of New Jersey, if not the country. Hey, way to go, Mac. I mean, he's one of the greatest hitters of all time coming through the Tola family. You know, we're a baseball family, left-hander. Oh, he's awesome. So, hey, way to go, Mac. You're going to have a great career. Looking forward to it. And I want to give a shout out to Sarah for posting this 6 Rules to Success by Arnold Schwarzenegger. She posted or reposted on Facebook, and I shared it as well because I think it's awesome. That's all we're going to talk about today because it applies to everybody in the universe. And we're not going to be giving out a Get Your Shit Together award today, but if we are, it's going to anyone who doesn't follow Schwarzenegger's rules because they're amazing, all right? We're going to get to that in a moment, but let me give you a background on Arnold because he was one of my idols growing up, no doubt. I mean, you guys know he was a 7-time Mr. Olympia, right? And Mr. Olympia, he first won in 1970. In 1970, I was 7 years old, so I didn't really know about this guy, but my father did, and he introduced us to weightlifting at a very young age. You'll read about that in my memoir. Started working out around 10 or 12 years of age, but by the time I was 14, in 1977, Pumping Iron came out. That's the film. So he kind of swept the nation with bodybuilding. And then I worked out in the gym called Man's World with a guy named Joe Dodd. Give a rest in peace shout out to Joe, my buddy Donnie from New Jersey, who was Mr. New Jersey. So I had an amazing training ground for weightlifting. And you guys know I've been working out every day since. No bullshit, every single day since I was 14 or 15 years old. So there you go. Let's go right to these 6 Rules to Success by Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you haven't seen it, go check me out on Facebook. You'll see. Number 1, trust yourself, okay? He says, who do you want to be? Dig deep down inside and find out what's important to you, not what anybody else thinks, okay? And you got to trust yourself. You got to believe in yourself, all right? Number 2, you got to break the rules. I mean, Arnold says this. He said, not the law, but the rules, okay? He said, it's impossible to be a maverick if you're too well behaved. I mean, he broke all the rules. I mean, this guy was amazing, right? Back in the day. So anyway, think outside the box, okay? It's not just, the rules are kind of meant to be broken. Think about that. That's important to know. Number 3, don't be afraid to fail. To me, this is one of the most important rules. Don't be afraid to fail. You got to be willing to fail. You can't be paralyzed by fear. Good example, this whole concept of doing stand-up. I went out yesterday for the second time. I got up and, I moved a lot further than I did on the first one. I'm releasing into it, but it's failure. You got to be excited about failing because that's how you succeed. I mean, what about Michael Jordan, right? The 9,000 shots that he's missed in his career. Got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your vision, and success will come. Arnold believed it. Look what happened to him. Forget about it. I mean, you got to do that. You can't be afraid to fail, people. You almost have to enjoy it because it's going to lead you to success. Number 4, don't listen to the naysayers. Ignore the naysayers, as Arnold says. You got to forget about these guys, all right? Let me give you a quick example. A couple years ago, I came back to Hollywood. I traveled for about 9 months. When I came back, I met with a casting director who was casting for pets in commercials, okay? This guy says to me, he meets with me, and he says, hey, there's no chance you're going to make it in Hollywood if you haven't made it within 5 years. I said, why not? What's 5 years? Was there a time limit on success in anything? And he said, well, nobody, you don't have the right headshot. You're not in the right school. I said, you know what? That's a bunch of bullshit. Okay. Naysayers. Well, just because it didn't happen for him doesn't mean it's going to happen for you. If there's a naysayer out there, take it into your psyche and say, hey, I'm going to prove that person wrong if that's who you are, or don't believe it. Okay. You can't, he says, you can't do this. You can't do that. It's never been done before. Forget about that. So what? It's never been done. Facebook was never done before. You think Mark Zuckerberg ever worried about that? Hey, people, pay attention to your life and say, yes, you can. Yes, I can. You could do anything that you set your mind to. And you got to love it when people say it's never been done before. So you'll be the first one to do it. That's what Arnold believed. Number 5, which Arnold believed is the most important. Yeah, I think it's the second most important, whatever. Work your butt off, okay? Nothing ever happens without hard work. I mean, look at this show. This show takes me 4 to 5 hours to produce, 5-6 minutes a day. I do it every day, okay? Why? Because it's going to create the future. That's what it's all about, people. You got to work your butt off. Then I spend the afternoon writing comedy, coming up with jokes. Then I go grind it out at night to make some cash to pay the bills. Doesn't matter. Arnold believes you got to sleep 6 hours and you got 18 hours to play with. He says if you sleep 9 hours, sleep faster. Remember, nothing ever gets done without hard work. Ask Tiger Woods, who's hitting golf balls at the age of 3. Ask my nephews. All of my 2 nephews and my nieces. You got to work hard at it. You got to get in the cage. You got to hit the ball. You got to practice. You got to study. Same thing with school. That's what I tell kids when I go and give these speeches to these schools. I said, hey, it's a function of time, okay? It's a function of time. No pain, no gain, especially in a world of weightlifting. I met a guy after my stand-up last night. I went to visit a buddy of mine, works in a bar. And I looked at him. I said, what happened? He said, I gained 60 pounds. I got sick in October. Doctor gave me steroids. I said, no problem. You're going to lose 60 pounds. He said, well, that's easier said than done. I said, no, it's not easier said than done. You can do it. I said, give yourself till Christmas time. Why don't you lose 4 or 5 pounds a month? What's the difference? Anybody can do it. You got to believe it. No pain, no gain. Yeah, you're not going to do it just by eating a lot of donuts, right? You got to cut back. And you got to feel the pain physically. So what? It's temporary, people. Pain is temporary. I mean, in the world of weightlifting, you got to really enjoy it. You want your body to look good. You want to preserve it and keep it young for a long time. Got to experience pain. It's not forever. Hey, Muhammad Ali, they asked him, and he references this. They said, how many sit-ups do you do? Muhammad said, I don't count my sit-ups. He says, I only start counting when it hurts. When I feel pain, then I start counting, okay? That's what makes a champion. He's right. What are you counting for? Just keep doing it. Again, you got to think about it. Nothing ever gets done without hard work, or else everybody would be, quote, unquote, successful at everything they do, right? While everybody else is leaning back, partying, doing their thing, sitting on the couch, you got to be out there on the road, putting the time in, putting the work in. That's how it gets done, people. And number 6, as Arnold says, it's about giving back to your community, giving back to the state, giving back to your country, giving back. I started a foundation, the Boulevard Zen Foundation, to teach yoga in domestic violence shelters because I believe yoga empowers people. And that's my passion. I still love teaching. Every time I teach, I go off to a different place. And I want to share that, okay? I want to share that with people because, that's giving back. You got to give back somehow or another, not just about money. It's about your time, because when you're successful, you want to share that energy and share those lessons with other people. So, hey, whenever you can, give back. So there you go. The 6 Rules to Success by Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got them. And on that note, I'm Rich Tola. And remember, dreams do come true. Just ask Arnold Schwarzenegger.